Alright, so we're gonna get started for today. Welcome guys. So, our second question for today is, what winter item are you? An example would be, for example, fuzzy socks. Laszlo said he was a sled. Yeah, so that's the question for today.
I think lately I have been earmuffs. So I think that's, well, I have been into earmuffs more this year. So that's the winter item that I am. A nice earmuff.
I'm gonna say that I'm a black Scully.
Okay.
Heard you. I just find that while it sounds threatening, it is definitely like a go-to all-purpose winter item. Like when you have it, you do feel more warm and more ancestral. So yeah.
Have you worn it before? Like,
You know when I was younger a lot, yeah, like high
Really?
school, yeah, and it looks so good. Like get a middle part bust down or, you know, fresh wash and set.
wow.
Looks great.
I love that. I am going to be fuzzy socks. My dad has this tradition since like he came to America to go to Macy's and buy all of us a set of pajamas and fuzzy socks. So it's a tradition of mine to like always receive that. If I don't, I'd be so sad because like, yeah, that's just my dad. Love him dearly, and I just don't like the coat.
Apologies.
I
I
don't.
think I'm mittens.
Mittens?
That's so you.
That's so you. I was
Yeah.
just about to say
The
that.
fact that you didn't even call them gloves.
Yeah. That is so
The
funny.
fact that you didn't even call them gloves.
No, I mean mittens.
I know.
Together. I love
Yes, the four hands together.
I hated those growing
I
up.
know.
They gave
Yo, I
like
did
no
not
restricted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
them.
very
Yeah,
restricted.
no, I don't put a glove on my hands. I like mittens.
Sanchez, the question was, what winter item best represents your current?
Uggs. I think they pull me through the winter time.
Yep. Felt that.
True.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Wait, that's probably like this long one. Okay, I typed in the wrong one. It's okay. I'll copy and paste it. Alright. So, thank you guys. So as we're moving on to the components of it, I just want to say thank you guys for completing your metacognition. Also for taking a moment for completing your portion of the document. So with that being said, we're going to be examining Mastery Check weeks 14. And with that said, we're going to take a look at your exemplar work and also see how can we teach that into this week to ensure like we are able to close up the gaps in preparation for the test. Got it. All right. So with that being said, what is the goal of this lesson? What is the goal?
What we wrote, it was to identify Dorothea Lange's contributions during the Great Depression, and how she used her photography to help migrant workers. And then it was also to determine the point of view of it, which kids always find challenging, like just recognizing that she was an inspiration. She was very helpful to like the movement in helping like migrants receive help during the Great Depression.
Sanchez?
First, she read both goals. So I'll go on to the things that will be developed throughout the lesson. So focusing on the identifying the genre and central idea, we believe that might be the biggest problem because they might either believe that it's sort of like a realistic fiction versus nonfiction. So just really focusing on the type of reading that they're going to be doing. So this is a I know it's like a
Narrative nonfiction.
narrative. It's a narrative narrative nonfiction.
Nonfiction.
There you go, narrative nonfiction. So that is the main thing that we want to have the students understand, and it's not a story, it's actually the
And how did you get to realistic fiction? Because you said since that would be one of the gaps, what identified in the text for you to get there?
So on the text, I can actually pull it up right here. In the beginning of the story, we have that little blurb at the top where it talks about how Teresa Lang was a photographer who worked during the Depression in the 1930s. So we know for a fact that this is a real person that had an impact during a real time. Students, to my knowledge, have understanding about the Great Depression, or they will.
Limited.
Limited, but they have an understanding of where they are.
And then also like what makes narrative nonfiction narrative is the fact that there's dialogue. I'm sorry.
No, you're
It's
good.
the fact that there's dialogue And then that's like, it's hard because when you teach kids fiction, you're like, does it have dialogue? Yeah. So then it's like, that's like the first thing they see, and then they're like, yeah, fiction. So.
Yep, and also another thing that we want to lean into too with the central idea is actually them understanding that it was her photographs that brought awareness, not just the idea of her being a photographer during that time. So.
And it's not about her life either.
Yeah, so it's more about the impact that she had during that time.
Wow, you guys took the words out of my mouth. I didn't have to do nothing. So proud of
Can I
you.
ask a question?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, Elsie and Raimi, if we know that the kids are probably gonna go, they're gonna lean into like the dialogue indicating that it's a fiction text, what are you thinking for like your back pockets to guide them towards knowing that this is actually like a nonfiction narrative?
Absolutely. So we were able to pivot immediately once we noticed that this misconception. What we did was we switched over our close readings. I don't know if we can pull up our week at a glance, but we switched our close reading up so they will have a clear understanding of what a narrative nonfiction text actually looks like the day before, and throughout that week we are going to be inputting those different components for students to really understand. So as far as central idea and those other things that will help students get there.
My question is, sorry, probably I didn't hear you. Oh,
Go ahead.
my question is, let's take a look at your exemplar. So both of you guys pull your exemplar up. When you first looked at the text, what did you recognize?
There's a blurb.
Okay, what about it in the blurb?
The blurb, like Sanchez mentioned, it mentions the Great Depression in the 1930s. So I feel like those are like some of the things we need to lean into, like to help them distinguish that like just because it's dialogue, it doesn't make it fiction. And then also like right under the title, it has like 1895 to 1965, which is like another text element.
And I'm gonna push you right here, Raimi. Actually, I'm gonna go to Sanchez around this. Raimi just noted the Great Depression in the 1930s. Then she talked about the timeline. Why are these key components for this text? What do they indicate?
The struggles that people were going through during that time and how she directly impacted them.
Let me rephrase. Because in the beginning you talked about how students will get confused with the subgenre, they might think it's realistic fiction, right? So if Raimi was able to identify depression in the 1930s and the timeline, how does this support the genre?
Because it's a real thing.
Exactly.
It actually happened.
Okay, it's a current event, right? So with that being said, I want us to think about these skills as to like how we want to implement them with scholars, right? The first thing that you guys told me that you guys did was look at the blurb, identified real things that happened during the time, and then you guys went back and looked at the title and noticed the year. So that's something that you guys will want to like teach into when you're in the classroom. So the thing I want to ask you guys now is like, how did you guys get to your central idea? Let's take a look at your central idea. Raimi, can you read your central idea?
Yeah, I wrote Dorothy, oh my God, I'm supposed to write Dorothea. Dorothea Lange, was a photographer during the Great Depression that took pictures of people's poor conditions. She was invited to participate on a social project with Paul Taylor, where she used her photographs to get aid for migrants.
Kelsey.
Mine wasn't as lengthy, but mine was Teresa Lang had great impact on bringing awareness of migrant families during the Great Depression.
Okay. I want you guys to go back into the text. Where did you guys find the detail to support your central idea? What paragraph?
So I don't have the exact paragraph, but I have mine in my note catcher where it talks about. Yeah, I have a note catcher at the top. Yeah. So this one shows. The last one I have Lang's photograph struggle, which caused the government to quickly send food and aid, saving lives. Saving lives and becoming a lasting symbol of activism.
Yeah, and then similarly, I put paragraph 8 where it says Dorothea's photographs were among the first in America to lead to government action.
So one thing that I've noticed that both of you guys did is reference your note catcher. Why is that so important when we're looking for the central idea?
To see repeated ideas.
Okay, what else? What does repeated ideas tell us?
What the story is mainly about.
Exactly, right? So we're able to see a common pattern that is trending within these paragraphs. We're able to focus on the main topic that the author's trying to explain in the text. So with that being said, I wanted to take a look at our exemplar for central idea and how we can strengthen that a little bit more. So I want you guys to take 1 minute to look at your exemplar central idea, and if you would tweak it, what would you do, or what would you say?
I would further the impact that she actually had.
Talk about it a little bit more. What do you mean?
So, for example, I would include the idea that government aid was sent to support. So that was the kind of impact that her photographs had, and then also furthering the struggles that they were maybe experiencing during that time. So just providing a little bit more explanation behind impact and the actual struggles.
Okay, can you write one full sentence of that central idea? Raimi.
I think I would add on, and like maybe you can help me out because this is where I was kind of like struggling when I was making my own. I would add on that her, like, if it wasn't for her work, these migrants wouldn't have received the aid that they needed. But then I was a little like weary of it leaning too much into like the APOV, where like that's like where we're talking about how the author views her, like, oh, without her we wouldn't have had aid. So I was kind of like I was like in the middle, like if I should add that into my central idea, because that was like a thought I had when I was doing it, but I just wasn't 100% sure.
So my question to you is, what is the point of a central idea?
The point of a central idea is to kind of like put all the ideas, the smaller ideas that the text is talking about, into one, and see like what is it that the author fully wants me to take away from the text.
So based off the information that you told me, are these small details that need to be included?
I would say yes.
Okay, so how would you, I want you to rephrase your central idea into one sentence now.
Just one?
Yeah, I want
Okay.
you to type that. And my push for you is to think about, do you really need to add something or can you remove something?
Okay.
I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Okay, so I put Doretha Lang's photographs expose the harsh realities of poverty, hunger, and homelessness amongst migrant families during the Great Depression, motivating the government to take action and provide aid.
How did that feel? Why?
Because it further explains what were the struggles, and it also it's basically the cause and the effect. So there were these struggles, she made these photographs, and the government sent aid. And that's basically what the whole thing is about.
And if I resonate with what you just said, and if I look at your original main idea, you said Dorothea used photography to reveal hardships of the Great Depression. Her powerful, I didn't see that one, document? Sorry.
Yeah, documentation.
Documentation, photos move the government. I think the second one is stronger because you talked about how the impact of poverty now let an effect to the team, right? So I thought this was much clearer. Concepcion?
Okay. My work in progress is Dorothea Lange's revolutionary photographs highlighted migrant workers' poor conditions, leading to government action. Hold on. Leading to government action that proved to be impactful. What do you think about that?
Read it one more time for me.
Okay, wait, hold on. It's because it's just not fully typed out. Maybe that's what I'm also leading to government action that proved. Okay, Dorothea Lange's revolutionary photographs highlighted migrant workers' poor conditions, leading to government actions that proved to be impactful.
And how did that feel? What did you take out or add?
I think I took out the beginning part. I wrote that she was a photographer during the Great Depression. I took that out and just left that she took pictures of the poor conditions, and because of that, she was able to make impactful change.
My question to you is the Great Depression needed in your central idea?
I would say maybe.
I don't want to hear maybe. I want to hear, how do you feel? Should you include the Great Depression? And I want you to think back what you said about the genre. How were you able to get to that?
Yeah, I think the Great Depression is needed. So okay, so I was trying to cut down, and then I cut down too much.
So what small detail can you remove here?
Okay, so then the part where she was invited to participate on
Why
the
should we
social
remove
project.
that?
It's a minor detail,
Exactly.
honestly.
And what is the main thing that I want you guys to walk away here with the central idea? We should be focusing on what?
Like
The main idea.
the overall.
The overall what?
The overall like idea, like topic.
The idea and topic, right? So
Yeah.
we should not be focusing on what?
Key details.
Like minor. We should not.
We should not be
Oh.
focusing on the small, minor key details, because if we do, it takes away from us understanding what the overall message the author is teaching in the text.
Yeah.
So I should take out the Great Depression of mine too.
No,
No,
we
keep it.
should leave it.
No.
And
you
that's
should
the hardest
keep it.
part too. Yeah, it's like these small details do contribute to the holistic meaning of the text, but we only need to include the details that actually like make a difference.
Yes. Okay.
So the
that's
Great
what I
Depression is important because it's a historical time
Mhm.
that makes this like genre real. Whereas we focusing on the social
Mhm.
part of whoever that man you named, not that important.
Yeah.
You know?
thought. Okay.
Right. So with that being said, you guys did a really great job having a meta moment and fixing your central idea. I want you guys to now script out your criteria for success. Like, what are the 3 steps did you guys do in order to ensure like you had a strong central idea?
And 9.
Sorry, Kylie.
No, it's okay. When they're finished with that, can we also have the team come up with some sentence starters for each portion of the note catcher? Because I am worried about the genre getting mixed up, and I think like sentence starters to guide them to think about the questions will be helpful.
We kind of have a CFS on here. I don't know if you want to still use this one.
Where did we put it?
It's on the second page of tag. You see it?
Where it's under CFS.
Oh,
We
okay.
can change this up a little to make it more precise.
But this one, I want to see a CFS for just central idea. Like, how are we going
Got it.
to push scholars in a moment?
Got it. So, I would say, so step 1, identify the topic. So who or what is this text mostly about? So I guess we could erase that one. I'm on my,
Oh, the document.
yeah. identify the topic, look for repeated ideas, ask what the author wants you to understand, combine the topic and message. So with that being said, more of like the message is her impact, and then check the details. This one is the add-on. I just wanted to make sure that everything made sense. Like I want them to double check to make sure that they're not including deep details. If that makes sense.
And my curiosity is coming towards like step 4.
Okay.
Why is that essential?
Because I don't want them to only believe that it was only like her impact. I guess with the misconception, because I want them to understand that the impact that her photographs had. Does that make sense? Like it's not just that she took some photographs of some people on the street. It's the reason why they had that impact. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. So how can we make that student friendly? Because that's my biggest concern. You're talking about impact, but I don't think they're gonna understand that.
Okay, so what are the repeated ideas?
So you told me that we talked about the repeated ideas and that you want to see the result, right? And connect it with the message. What question can you ask?
I just don't want to bring up impact again. So, how can I? No, right? Okay. So, how does
Say how you want to, like, and then think about the impact later.
okay? So I was gonna say how does Doretha Lang impact during this time?
Okay.
The impact. How did
Instead of saying impact, what can you say? Think about TikTok. We all need a what? We all look at.
On Instagram. It starts with I.
This is hard. Wait,
I'm playing too. I'm like, damn,
it's on
I'm
TikTok?
No, it's just like people who have their own
Influence. Yes. How did she
Oh.
influence? Okay. Yes.
That was good.
So, my question would be, how did Doretha Lang influence the Great Depression?
Or how did her photos influence?
Influence.
Okay, so how did Doretha Lang's photos influence the Great Depression? Now, this is my question, but what would be my CFS sub? Would it just be that? How did Doretha Lang influence the Great Depression?
Oh, you're talking about like the stuff?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really. I do mine based off questions. But if you had to change it into a statement, how would you change that? Because step 3 says ask what the author wants you to understand. What do you want them to do in step 4?
I want them. I have my calculation. But this is another idea. So I want them to. That's the thing. I just don't want to repeat myself because I feel like I'm
Try
repeating.
results.
Try results.
Yeah. That's one of the words. Oh, I have that in my head. Not try.
Oh.
Result.
Help me out here, Remy. Going black.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm sorry.
We could do mine. See if there's like
A connection. Let me hear yours.
yeah.
yours.
It's on the IP. If you wanna look at it on the screen under my metacognition. I don't know if that's more what you but I did it a little bit different. Right
Okay.
here.
Uh-huh.
So I wrote identify overall topic, not just about Dorothea Lange or her photographs, but how these photographs were impactful. Then I wrote analyze how they were impactful, what did they change or happen as a result of it. And then create a 1 to 2 sentence main idea. Maybe we could just say 1, but a 1 to 2 sentence main idea that fully incorporates the cause and effect. What wouldn't have happened if Dorothea did not broadcast these pictures?
Why did
This was good.
that was really strong? Why did you impact that at that last question? What wouldn't have happened if Dorothea didn't take those photos or broadcast them?
I think like I think like sometimes kids just like need a different way to think about it. Like that's a key question that like I lean into also when trying to teach like text structure, like what wouldn't we get if this paragraph was missing? And I felt like that helped the kids like understand it more. Like if something wasn't there, like well, what effect would it have on the story? So I guess like just posing that question, like if she never took these pictures, like what would have happened then?
And Sanchez, what is your takeaway from Rainey's CFS?
I like her last one because number one, it's telling them exactly how many sentences, right? Because some people, they'll write a whole paragraph explaining the whole story, so that completely scratches out summary. The student creating a summary. And then also the way that she included like what would have happened if Dorita did not broadcast these pictures. This allows the students to think about, okay, well then they wouldn't have gotten the government support. So kind of the same.
Shout out to you guys on that, really, really great job. So I want us to use the CFS to now think about like our sentence starters for the note catcher. Carly? You hear me?
Talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So once again, we are on the sentence stems for the note catcher component. And I just told them let's begin like creating a sentence starter for all 3 boxes just to support scholars.
So, Kelsey and Rami, I would use your exemplars. Like, what is going to be the strongest phrase that's going to set students onto the right path of thinking? Specifically for the APOV, the topic, and the teach.
I'm sorry, can you repeat, Card?
So we're making sentence starters for each box in of the kids' note catchers. So if a student is struggling, or we just know that they need this scaffold, what type of sentence starter are you going to provide for each box, focusing in especially on the topic, teach, and APOV?
Okay.
And I think it's also important to think of like a question first that could support them. Like we do this in science, and we have like a claim, evidence, and reasoning, which is similar to ELA. But a claim is, always gonna be like, is this true or not? Like evidence is always gonna be like, what observations or data do you have to support this? And then like the reasoning is always gonna be like, what scientific phenomena is this connected to? So that's on a different frame, but like you can think about it like that when answering the topic. What question do you need to ask yourself? In a child-friendly way. Same thing for APOV and what main idea.
And I think what can support around that is like the note catcher in that sense. What is the components for each one, right? So like for topic, what is the component for that one? How many words do you need?
Well, we said less than 5.
So how would you phrase that question as a sentence?
Like around topic?
Yes. So ask yourself what?
Okay. I don't want to say what the text is mostly about, because they could just say photographs. I think when I wrote on the mastery check slide, I wrote, what issue does the author want me to pay attention to? Would that be like a?
The only reason I would be a little worried about that one is because then what happens when they're reading another nonfiction and it's not about a problem? You know what I mean? Because they'll drag that question through.
So what can you say that we can change it with? Because I think you said it a lot. I will go back to your CFS.
I would say,
Which step?
find words and concepts that appear more than once.
How would you phrase that into the question? So we know that has to be less than 5 words, right?
Ask yourself, what words and concepts appear more than once?
Yeah, maybe we change words and concepts to ideas, a little bit broader.
And the amount of words.
So
in less than.
Kids are gonna be like, oh, the word "and" is in here. So
I'm gonna put in less than 5 words. Oh no, I'll put that. Wait. Ask yourself, what ideas more than once? So questions, ask yourself what ideas that appear more than once for the topic.
Okay.
Okay. And then we added something, but I was typing, what did we?
Whatever you.
Somebody said something with difference.
I would just put in parentheses lesson 5. Like
Oh, the lesson 5 in less than
5 words.
And then now, like doing the sentence starter based off that question, how can you turn that question into a sentence starter for the topic?
I don't wanna be vague and say what the topic of this text is.
And I would just probably not use the word topic. What's another word for topic?
The main idea.
The idea that's being represented is. And then I'm coming to you for APOV conception.
Okay.
So,
So like the question,
Mm-hmm.
how does the author feel about the topic? Or because I want to keep how does the author feel? Can we get a little bit more specific in this one or no? No, okay, keeping it vague.
And I want you to find a different word besides feel. Why did you choose feel? Because I want you to think about what is the point of APOV. We're focusing on the what?
The author's point of view. So like
The purpose. What they're teaching.
wait, what do you mean?
Like, what was the author's purpose of writing this thing, right?
I don't like to say that because then that's when we start getting the to inform, to persuade.
So what answer are you looking for us to create a question around? So what answer do you want from them to write?
I want them to focus more on like Dorothea Lange's work was inspirational or was impactful or like those kind of words that show that like, you know, without her we wouldn't have this change. Like that's why sometimes I feel like weird about using the word purpose, because then they start hitting me with the to inform us about Dorothea, like those kind of words.
Like it's generic in general.
Yeah, and they never like get to like the actual like oh, the author admires her work or respect, like those kind of words.
And those are what kind of words?
You said inspirational, admire, like what type of words are those?
Those are female words.
Exactly. So those are the things that you probably should put in here. Like when I'm teaching close reading, I always ask the students like, why did the author choose to write about this topic or person? And then I'm always asking myself like, and what do they want us to? What are they trying to make us feel? You know what I'm saying?
So instead of saying like, what does the author feel about this? Like, why did the author? why did the author write this text? Okay, yeah, that is good.
Or what about what is the author saying about this topic? No? What is the author saying?
Yeah, it goes either way. Yeah.
That works.
Okay. And then what would be the starting sentence?
The sentence starter?
What did we end up with for the question? Did we say how does the author feel about it?
What is the author saying?
Oh yeah, we said, what is the author? What did you say, Sanchez?
I said saying.
You said saying, and then we said also why did the author choose to write this text?
Why did the author choose to write this text?
Which one do you wanna stamp on there?
Is that not author's purpose though? That's different than APOV.
We had a discussion around like feeling words and how.
I know, I heard all of it.
So
What's your question, Carly?
I get what you're saying.
yeah, I feel like we started off doing APOV and then we ended up with author's purpose.
I think they're tied. It's just different. It's different ways of how it comes off. That's just my opinion to it, because at the end of the day, like, we're adults, so we focus on purpose, but the end result is how we get there, right? And I think you made us get there by focusing on the feeling
Okay.
words. So I can meet you halfway and say like I'm okay with that, because that's how kids understand in order to get to the answer that we want them to have.
So mention feeling.
No, not what we said in the first. Where is it? What is the author saying? That's what you guys said.
Or what did you say? Say again.
I said, why did the author choose to write this text?
Why did the author choose to write this text? Yes.
But doesn't that still tie back into purpose?
purpose.
It kind of does.
I think that's what it was. That's
But you know
what
what
she
it is
meant.
then? If you say like, oh, the author wrote this text to
That's right.
inform us about Dorothea Lange, it's like, and then because, and then I would add a line, because then they need to finish that sentence. I actually don't care if you say inform, or to energize, or to persuade, but like, in the because, like tell me why, you know? So I think we should just add, in the sentence starter, put because, and then put an underline.
So the sentence starter would be the author
Wrote this text to,
wrote
underline,
this text
because,
to-
underline.
I like that.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Alright, perfect. And then, obviously for me, an idea, what would be the question?
And I think too, like what's so cool about the APOV sentence starter is that a lot of kids are gonna get tripped up on like, she's a famous photographer. It's like, yeah, but there's so many famous photographers to be written about. Why is this one, you know, being spoken about? And so we have to get more specific. So I love that. Anyway,
No, that was
Main
great, thank
idea.
you. Sorry. So ask yourself, what is the text mostly about?
Okay.
Because that's what we've been telling them for a while now. And then the sentence starter would be the text is mostly about, or do you want to go the main idea of this text is?
I think it's like, we're teaching them how to be state.
Okay, the main idea of this text is.
And one thing I love about this, and I love like Carly's push around this, is that we're supporting all scholars, and being that it's a mastery check, certain scholars are gonna feel confused in moments. And the one person I can think about is Namiyan. Namiyan's very stuck in moments where her anxiety comes up, and if we provide these scaffolds, she was able to utilize them in the moment to like pivot. So I'm really excited to see like all of these skills being implemented on Thursday, and how you guys are gonna showcase that even the day before your close reading passage.
Since I have you guys here, do we have any upcoming people coming in for interviews? Not yet.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Right.
Okay,
Randy and Kelsey, I sent you, just a refresher on testing accommodations. If you could please take a look at it, because I know we only have a minute left in this meeting. I highlighted the kids in red that have test red and separate, location.
HBMS IEP teaching? No, that's not it.
No, I shared it with you, it's in your email.
Can you share it again, actually, because I don't have the email from you recently.
Yeah, I sent it last night, I'll send it again.
Oh, last night.
I got you, send it again.
I don't have a Tyler Figueroa IEP. Oh, RTI plans?
No.
It's called recommended programs, HBMS, and then it's like it's the last spot.
Got it, perfect. Just sent it.
Got it? Okay, good. I shared it with you again, but it's taking a while. There it is.
Thank you.
Did you see
Share it with
the
me,
final tab over there, testing accommodations?
Got it.
Yeah, because there were some
Oh, I see.
updated IEPs.
Not the exclamation. Perfect.
I know it's in a call, Carly, so I wanted to say bye. Oh, she's there. Hello? Oh, no, never mind, she's gone. Alright, and then real quickly, I wanted us to get into a practice mode based off our CFS. I wanted to take a look at these two examples, version 1 and version 2. How would you push scholars' thinking based off these two examples of central idea?
So first things first is what did she use her camera for?
Camera.
Where it
Oh, I
says
didn't even read it, so sorry.
who used her camera. So like,
Which one?
are we focusing on
These
version
two?
1?
Yeah, version 1. So Dorothea Lange was a photographer during the Great Depression who used her camera to document the severe hardships faced by migrants. And her photographs helped bring government attention and aid to people in need. Version 2. Dorothea Lange was a photographer during the Great Depression who traveled with Paul Taylor, visited migrant camps, and took photos like Migrant Mother that showed families living in harsh conditions, which helped the government realize how badly people needed food and support.
I had to push version 2 a little bit more than I can push.
And why would you push version 2?
Because they're summarizing, they're including a lot of key details, so
What back pocket question would you push them into the right direction?
The back pocket question I would say is, what is the main impact that these steps that's too long. I would say, how did these key ideas explain her impact?
Okay. Or like what does these key ideas show?
Show, okay. And then when they would answer that, I would be like, okay, so
And then what?
I guess I just want them to like cut it down. So like basically, like how would I push them to remove these key ideas?
I think
How
you
would I-
could-
I think your question was good.
yeah, like you could even ask
Yeah.
them that. That's what I was gonna say, like, what details can we remove from your central idea?
Yeah, okay, what key details can we remove from your central idea to explain the main idea of this text?
And how come you guys didn't push version number 1?
The reason why is because I feel
Wait.
sorry.
Conception.
I feel like it has the components that we said we were looking for. Like it's
What are the components?
1 to 2 sentences,
Mhm.
right? Mentions key ideas like the Great Depression and what she used her photographs for, and then what happened as a result of it.
I feel like it's just more like her sophistication, like things like photograph and use her camera, like she can make this sentence more concise.
One thing I'm hearing is result. I'm hearing we need to focus on the key or real facts, right? Such as Great Depression and the impact. Where are we getting all of these terms from? How are you able to notice these things so quickly?
From the criteria.
And what is the impact of the criteria for success
It
for
makes
you as a teacher?
it makes what you're looking for like more narrow, like more to the point, because I think like with ELA there could be a lot of different answers that like sound good and like could like technically be acceptable, but when we want to like think about like what is getting to the point and like what is gonna best set them up for success is the criteria for success helps you like pinpoint like, okay, they just need 1, 2, 3, and then it also helps like when you're tracking, because then it's like, okay, do they have 1, 2, 3? Okay, I can move on, or I could just say find 2 or find 3 instead of like going on a whole rant, being like, well, you could do this and that and the third.
Yeah, and I think what you guys did today was so quick around like the CFS, but also giving quick back questions in the moment where you didn't have to like do too much, where you didn't feel like your anxiety is up, right? I put this in our newsletter. It's so important that we're moving with preparation, but also with calmness, because we want to make sure that our transferable skill is there for scholars.
I also want to flag something about the newsletter. Tell me if I'm wrong, I didn't see the habits on there. There wasn't a habit on there, right? Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I just put the
No, you're good.
prepared mind lead to something. I thought that was it, so I just put it there.
That's the motto.
Yes, I did. I said that's what we're going by this week. That's what we're going by this week. So, anyways, I got that. But okay,
Thank you guys. That'll be all for our IB today.
thank you. So
Thank
we have
you.
another one upcoming. Just flagging that Mastery 16. I know that's like a little bit further down, but we have a Mastery
That's
16.
like right before the break.
Yeah, so I just wanted to flag that for you to let you know. And then wanted to know where the if we have any art. Was it RTD? What was it?
The RTD is not sent because they
gotta
take
take it
the test.
first.
Okay, perfect. No wait, sorry. 14. What was it? 14. No. No, never mind. Sorry, you're right.
All right.
I was